Hi everybody, this is Covert Reality. This is January 1st, 2018, and I wanted to definitely do an episode today to send out a message for the year, I guess, ahead, because we got a lot to see in front of us. But I just wanted to put us into what's going on right now. We're experiencing a very cold streak here. Many call a mini ice age. You've got the people out there that are doing the, the solar maximums and solar minimum videos. And I just want to tell you, those people that are doing the solar maximum, solar minimum videos of the the action on the sun, of solar maximums and big explosions and stuff. A lot of those guys don't talk about geoengineering, or that they're actually spraying the planet. Like, none of them do, but whenever I do, and if there are any out there, please let me know. But most of them don't, or if any. Like, I don't think any of them do at all mention chemtrails or geoengineering. So, but they always coincide to when there's really crazy things happening here. Like in the summer when there'd be a heat wave. Really, we'd see it on the ground level here, we're getting sprayed, and then we know that layer creates a magnifying glass effect. So we're getting heated down here more than we should, microwave frequencies. So we're getting that. But, it's the other side of it that's a little bit, frustrating, because we know that's not what it is. So, we're actually being, what would you say, really just kind of in this big crazy conundrum. And I was going somewhere with what I was just saying there, but so when we're in a cold spell like we're in right now, it's pretty intense to me. And so, and like I was saying before, in the summer, you get hot streaks, you get the solar maximums going on, but they would never talk about chemtrails, they never talk about anything like that, but they would coincide with really hot days down here. So I've always wondered about that, and wondered, well, is that just another excuse? Because there's got to be a bunch of other, scientific reasonings for things to happen, so it kind of makes the people that are maybe scared and can't face the truth feel settled on these other ideas. And I'm not saying that looking at the solar maximum charts and stuff like that isn't real to a degree, but when it comes down to the priority of what's going on, we have weather wars hitting us right now. And right now, currently, January 1st, 2018, proud to say we're out of 17, and out of any other year before this. Last year was great because Donald Trump came in. It was a really hectic year because, it kind of shows what kind of plate he has on his desk when he becomes that role. And so seeing where we're at right now is pretty interesting, especially 2018 today. There's been a whole lot of interesting things about the, catching up to the criminal cabal that's been perpetuating a lot of this stuff, and it's all kind of combined. So that's pretty interesting that way. But we have a cold streak that's a major one. And I'm noticing massive growth of ice on the windows, more and more and more. And I really feel like something could give, because we have a lot of pressure on these pipes, and they're constantly going even up and down a little bit. 5-degree temperature up and down every day may not be enough, but if you drop the temperature enough and then warm it enough, it will crack. And if they get enough of the ground frozen, you'll have a lot of cracking. So yesterday I had some things that were sent to me from a few people of Coke cans blowing up in their garage, which is minor, but showing that we got a deep freeze almost situation going on here, a little bit too cold. And you have other places in Minnesota where you got underground pipes and houses sprayed, blown apart and spraying everywhere underneath and leaking everywhere. That happens on a major scale. And this is not something I'm saying just because it's happening now. These are scenarios that were brought up a long time ago about cracking the pipes on purpose. taking over infrastructures, but they need to put enough of that particulate matter into the ground, and that would be like the silver iodide nuclei, like we were talking about on the other episode, more like a dry silver iodide smoke. And it was not a particulate form, it was a smoke form that made it persistent. Because without making it into a smoke form, they couldn't make it persistent. So, but anyway, so here we are, Southern Ontario. We're in Waterloo Region. I'm in Hesper, Ontario right now. I'm located just temporarily. I do move to Canada Village during the nice season, so we can help out there. When it gets to be winter, some things I don't really, you don't take care of the land as much in the winter. It's kind of, so I, take another place to do my work and art and stuff and music and that. So here I am in Hesper, and it's freezing cold, and it's been freezing cold consistently. It was called out even last year. Now I can say last year. In the summer, even just right near the end of the summer, it was called out that this was going to be a brutal winter. Like they already knew it was going to be a brutal winter. And all those people that were saying that were people that were saying, well, mini ice age is coming and watch out. But a lot of those people didn't talk about chemtrails either. So I really judge a lot of things by that now. If you're going to talk about a certain scenario and dismiss that something else that's obviously happening in our skies isn't happening, and you don't mention it, I don't give you any trust. You may be speaking well on that subject you're speaking of, but if you're not going to include all of the factors, then it's not weighing out to be something legitimate. So, that being said, we got a very interesting agenda going on here in Canada that really wants to push this climate change agenda. At the same time, I really believe this inside that we have caught up to them. And anyone involved in that will be not wanting to be involved in that soon. In fact, you should just jump off that boat now, and I really mean this. A lot of things will trickle down. It comes down to the people. And so if they're not ready here to house a whole bunch of people, then they're not going to pull anything like that, right? They don't have a place to put everybody and a system going on to move people, then they can't do it. But they do have that. They got LRTs ready to go out here, and that was a system apparently that was not voted upon. So that was part of a lot of the, rogue agreements that came through what I believe is part of the NAFTA deals that Trump's getting out of and rearranging, and also the super NAFTA highway and provisions, which were football length size highway systems that would join a lot of different areas within the North American Union. And that was all the SPP, TPP stuff. So again, Trump pulled out of that, and the carbon tax. So I know we talk about that and everything, but what is going on in between that? Is he really stopping it? Are things really happening here? Well, I think what's happening is that the fact that if an experiment was let to go over the top of the public's head, and it must have been allowed to go ahead when it was under the veil of evil. So when we have this out in the open now, a lot of these people involved in this, they can't even stand a mere thought of the public waking up to that they're a perpetuator in messing with our life support system. So they're drastically trying so hard right now to fight back with whatever they have. But I really believe that you're done. I mean, anyone, it's going to come back to you. This will be the year 2018. And I thought 2017 was going to be the year, but it was pretty darn revealing last year. No one can say it wasn't. So a lot of things did come out last year. So I think this year will be the year that it'll catch up to everybody, because all the people that may be financiers in this, maybe China, maybe it's just Bill Gates, maybe it's just the Clinton, Bush administration, Obama administration. Maybe it is just that. And so we have to unwind all of that, and a lot of that stuff is coming down really fast, faster than ever. Now this Trump going after the Obama regime for trying to take Trump out earlier, just a couple of days ago, the plans for that were unveiled through WikiLeaks or through a special op leak, and there was some pretty interesting things going on last week. So the beginning of this year starts off where we have a bill that was written on the 21st of December, winter equinox, December 21st, 2017, that kind of freezes all assets of anyone causing or being affiliated with humanitarian abuses and crimes all over the world. So, what they're not really saying is that there is martial law in place in the United States, and it means, but it's not really for the people. They say it's more or less for the perpetuators of the crimes. So there'll be a martial law situation for those people. So instead of it being where the police are going to use their rogue private military ops to weasel us and manipulate us into sheep herding us. They are not going to do that anymore. They're caught now, and when all this pressure happens and they want carbon tax really bad, they're going to play whatever card they can. If they're bringing up already last year, and Trump was nominated, they knew that it was the end of the game for them, that they would start to deploy their systems. So it's interesting to me that last summer there was a talk about that it was going to be freezing cold, bad winters this winter, and I try to look at all the sources that said that. Are they talking about chemtrails? Are they talking about, well, they do spray the atmosphere and they do change the atmosphere, they can change the temperature dial. Both sides, heat or cold now. So, so this is a perfect winter for them to pull their little thing. They can call it a mini ice age, so a lot of people say, oh, it was just a mini ice age. You chemtrail people are crazy. Well, no, we're not. Silver iodide nuclei is added in, and these are northern experiments. But one thing I do want to clarify is on the last episode I said that us as megaregions, skipping to megaregions really quickly, they're part of a UN agenda to create havoc everywhere, dismantle infrastructure, have FEMA come in, buy off all the land at 40 cents on the dollar, and then put them, move all those people to sustainability projects off on the coast. And so we got the mega regions there. But what I did say is that Great Lakes region was the most northern. It isn't. I do apologize. We are the second most northern. The Vancouver area there, it will be a mega region. So that is a little bit more north than we are. So they are the most northern mega region among 11 of us scattered around the United States and Canada. There's only 2 regions in Canada. That's what I find is really interesting. And then 9 in the United States. So, but anyway, these super naphtha highway systems were supposed to be developed football size, and they're going to be just kind of moving people more or less and goods. But they really speculated people. But we're trying to figure out what that was all about. They had LRTs without biking systems on them, or you couldn't even bring a bike on it. Like, why is that? Like, what kind of agenda do they have? Freedom or non-freedom? LRT was all imposed under things that weren't voted upon, just like the European Union. And so it just goes to show that these guys will stop at nothing. They'll go ahead and they will create an agenda to make it really, really cold this summer, make it really hard on everyone. They will try to strain the system so bad. But I know that there's good people inside the system that know what's going on. All of us that have to use extra heat, extra things to heat our homes, they're hoping that we jack up our heating systems. Jack up our heaters. They're hoping that our heats. That's like a slang term for all our things that heat us. Hey, our heats. Where's our heats? But we find our ways to do that. We can do it. Like candles is a great thing to use, I find. You can get like 20 candles, light them, put them in a circle form. But like in a circular form, but fill it all in. And but put it in a safe spot in a shallow container, so there's no air above it that can go back and forth. That could cause a massive fire, and it's hard to get out. So just use candles, use your head, use whatever you possibly can. You get a wood burning stove. That's great too. You just make sure you got your wood. Those are the best things to do. What they're really trying to do here is all the people that are dependent on the system. Those people will be the ones that will have the hardest time. And all the other people that have been trying to get off of that and be more independent without that system will be the ones more prepared. So just, letting you know that just this winter is definitely falling in line with what Canada would do up in here, if they had to cause some sort of problem, like in February or even in another week, I feel there's something that could happen. That's why I'm making this episode, not just because it's the first of the year, but because it's really important that now the agenda is sort of on right now. In 2018, they want to really push in a lot of evil agenda, and it's going to become apparent to us. But what we need to do is react this, counteract it, and make sure we're ready for this, because they will, and I feel like this could happen. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just saying it's on the could happen scenario, but if they're not ready for it, they won't do it. But if they crack all the pipes around here, they just keep perpetuating a lot colder systems, because we have saturated silver iodide nuclei in our atmosphere and in our ground and everywhere, and they've been spraying it for 11 years. Now, I'm not saying that they've been spraying that component all the time for 11 years. It's just that they've been doing different experiments for winter projects and whatnot, like freezing things really quickly. And so I really need to make this episode, because when I want to talk about the future and coming into 2018, it's hard to speak of it when it was still 2017. Something about that, but it's clear. We can see a clear path ahead of all of us. Now that I feel it is our year to get back at this this oppressive system that's been just totally taking us over for so long, that so many people have lost hope, and they laugh at like the chances of us even ever changing it. I just want to believe that this year will be the year we change it. But I want everyone to understand that we are actually in a game here that's bigger than a lot of people can comprehend. So if we can get through this cold spell here, and once it starts getting warmer is when I'm going to be more concerned. Because if it gets warm quick, a lot of pipes are going to freeze. So this is what I think they're doing right now. I think that they're honestly trying to really freeze these systems. All of them. So it takes a while to keep it consistently cold. And that's what they're doing right now. So I'd say in another week or so, or two, they could be almost ready to just pull us right out of this cold spell and make it really nice and warm all of a sudden. And then all the pipes will crack all across the infrastructure. If it's already happening now in certain areas that are colder than here, like Minnesota or up more out west, northern regions, Arctic regions, then we definitely have to understand that we're right in the path of that through jet stream as well. And they can control it, and and something that's natural, they can enhance that. Or now they can just kind of say that there is a big global warming, but they just make it global warming by spraying us. Or they'll say it's a big mini ice age, but really it's not a mini ice age. They're spraying us. They've been spraying us, putting components in there that can make them change the dial of the weather system. So I just want to say that hopefully our pipes don't explode too much, and hopefully we'll be okay. If this does happen, it'll be in areas that have not had their pipes replaced, and they haven't got the plastic rubber alloy that they're using nowadays. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, some sort of interesting alloy that doesn't freeze it or crack it. Lasts a lot longer too. And but if you haven't got that, then you're still dealing with those steel pipes underneath, or copper pipes, and a lot of them can crack. And we just want to let you know that we are in a weather modification game here. Most of us do know this. But if you could share this with your friends and your neighbors that live in the colder regions of Canada, I just want everyone to really, figure out what you can do as alternative ways to heat if the power does go out. Now we're not thinking that will happen. We feel it's more going to be a scenario where they do freeze everything so good that when they do put the temperature up all at once, that everything will go at once. Now, I just pray that that's not happening this year, and that the evil side that wanted to perpetuate this kind of stuff is actually kind of pulling back. But this is the one thing I don't quite understand, and I want to get this out, is that all the times they've been spraying, and you see a lot of frequency mechanism going on. I've heard and read in different articles with this concept of spray zap, like spraying and then zapping that particulate, that it's a preset coordinate in some cases. Like they preset it so they can go and use an atmosphere, set it, and they set it the same way. So when another system comes through, they can kind of go to that coordinate, and it'll just produce. And they can turn up the dial, too, to make it a little bit more intense next time. So this is the thing that I'm really, really blown away by. It's the year that they need to mess with us here in Canada. It's the year more than anything because they're going down. And it happens to be the year it's a freezing, cold, crazy, brutal winter. So what's up next, folks? whatever it is, I just hope that you're ready. I just hope that whatever does go down, that we do, like a tight knot in your shoe you can't get undone. Just keep pulling that side by side and pulling it away from each other bit by bit, even if you can't even grab onto it. But sooner or later it will actually loosen up, and sooner or later it will actually become free again. And you know, we can try to think with our heads on which way we want to live, and we really do have a chance for this. We really do, more than any other time. So I want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and I love all yous. And till next time, this is Covert Reality, and have a great year. Stay warm.